Guten Tag, Deutsche Fußball fans and fans of England and, just fans of football in general. Just want to say hello, how are you doing? I'm the Prince of Macedon, otherwise known as Alex, that's my real name. Just want to give a big shout out to everybody who loves football, the world's beautiful game. Before I get into the Germany-England football match, I want to give a big shout out to Napoleon Total War FG. That is one of my YouTube friends. He made the channel background as well as the channel banner on my page here. And let me show you that for a second. So basically, I just want to say thank you, Napoleon Total War FG, for your hard work. And let's get into the Germany-England football match. So before I give a recap on the game, I want to talk about the starting formations for each country. The Germans, they started off in their typical 4-5-1 formation, and that sounds very defensive in nature just looking at the numbers, but with the way the Germans are playing, it's actually more fluid and more offensive-minded than what it sounds like. But starting from back to front, we have Neuer as the German goalkeeper. In front of him, there is Friedrich and Mertesacker as the two central defenders, and on both wings of the defensive line, you have Boateng on the left, and down the right is the German captain Philipp Lahm. And playing as the defensive midfielders, you have Schweinsteiger and Khedira. And in front of the defensive line, you have the offensive midfielders. You have Podolski, Ozil, and Müller. And at the very front, they brought back Klose because in the last game, he wasn't able to play because of 2 yellow cards, which equaled a red card. And let's go look at England's starting 11 and their formation. England basically came out with a 4-4-2 formation. As goalkeeper, they had James. As defenders, they had Cole, Terry, Upson, and Johnson. In the midfield, there was Gerrard, Barry, Lampard, and Milner. And up front were the 2 strikers, composed of Rooney and Defoe. And so yeah, it was a 4-4-2 formation, and it sounds a lot more basic than the 4-5-1 German formation. But I think the 4-5-1 formation of Germany is a little bit better because they can pack in more players in the midfield. But let's do a recap on the game, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the game and some controversies, and I'll talk about the predictions for the next Germany match. Now let's do a quick recap on the game. The game started off really well for England. They were possessing the ball for like the first 15 or so minutes. They were dominating possession actually. They had close to 60% of the ball, whereas Germany was closer to 40%. But around the 20th minute, that's when Klose broke through the English defense and scored this really fantastic goal for Germany. It was fantastic for Germany, but very bad for England, because what happened was the English central defender Upson, he kind of let Klose pretty much just push him around. Klose ran right around him, and the situation was made even worse by the English goalkeeper James. He watched the whole thing right in front of him as Klose ran past the defender, and he controlled the ball and pretty much a shot on James. James could have easily stepped in there and stopped the ball before Klose had complete control of it. For the next 10 minutes, England was still possessing the ball a lot more than Germany. Around the 30th minute mark, Germany had another great chance to score a second goal on England. It started off with a series of really beautiful passes between Khedira and Müller. Like they're doing these fancy back heel passes to each other. It was unbelievable. At the very end, Klose was the last one to touch it, but he was unable to deliver the finishing touch and score a German goal. But the series of passes between Khedira and Müller, it was beautiful. I just wish they could have scored that goal. About a minute later, England almost scored against Germany. Basically what happened was the ball went up in the air, and then the English player knocked the ball right at the German goalkeeper, but the ball actually hit the top of the German crossbar, so the ball just kind of bounced right off. The problem here is that the official flagged it offsides, whereas another camera angle showed that the English play was completely onside. But disregarding that, about a minute after that, the Germans scored this beautiful second goal on England. Basically, it started off when Müller had a chance to score against the English keeper, but instead of shooting himself, he passed it right to Podolski, who was going down the left wing, and Podolski shot this really fantastic goal right under the legs of the English goalkeeper, James. Anyways, 5 minutes after that, or about 6 minutes after that, Upson, the English central defender, scored this really fantastic header on the German goal, and that put England at 1 point and Germany at 2 points. It was kind of cool that it was Upson who scored, because Upson was one of the players on the first German goal who let Klose pretty much run around him. So Upson kind of redeemed himself there. And that was not the end of the English attack. About a minute after Upson's goal on Germany, Lampard struck back from England. He shot this really wicked ball on the German goal, and this is where the controversial call came from. Basically, Lampard struck this ball from really far. It hit the top of the German crossbar, but when the ball landed back down on the ground, a replay shows that the ball clearly passes the line for a second English goal, but neither the linesman nor the referee were close enough to see that. And you got to blame FIFA for that, for not allowing video technology to see something like that. But yeah, the ball crossed the line, and then the English player saw it, and I'm pretty sure the German player saw it. That should have been an English second goal, and the score should have been 2-2 for Germany-England. But yeah, I'm really pissed about that. I mean, I know I'm supporting Germany, but I really hate it when a goal is disallowed when it's completely legit, and that was definitely a legit goal from Lampard and for England. Anyways, moving along. As I was saying, in the second half, England was still controlling the ball a lot more than the Germans. I think the English had about 56% of the ball possession, and the Germans only had 44% of the ball possession. That said, Germany was making a lot more chances with the fewer touches they had in the ball. Like, they were making the most out of their chances. They're really threatening. Whenever you saw the Germans with the ball, it's like you were always fearful that the English would let in another goal. So around the 57th minute, the Germans, this is what I was talking about in my last video blog, the Germans had this really bad defense. Actually, Germany and England had very bad defense. But in the 57th minute, that's when the Germans almost let in this really careless goal. That's when I think Philipp Lahm, he tried to kick the ball back to Neuer, but what ended up happening, Philipp Lahm actually pretty much passed the ball to an English player, but luckily the English player missed the goal, but that would have been really bad for Germany, and I really think that the coach needs to do what he can to address the situation in the German back four defensive line, because we cannot let that kind of a defensive play happen against Argentina or Mexico. That can't happen anymore. Around the 66th minute, that's when Müller finally scored a goal for himself. Like in the second German goal, he set up Podolski for a great German goal, but this time Müller controlled the ball himself and he shot it, and that ball went right in, and I'm glad Müller scored a goal at this game. That was in the 66th minute, and then 4 minutes later, Müller scored a second goal, and that was set up by Ozil. Ozil passed it to Müller, and then Müller struck it in for a second goal for him, and a fourth goal for Germany, and I was so relieved that happened. And around the 76th minute, you can see that England's possession of the ball was starting to slip. They were down to like 55% of the ball possession, whereas Germany was catching up with 45%. But as I said, the Germans, they were making the most out of their fewer touches with the ball. But I really do want Germany to do better next time. I want them to possess the ball, because that lets the team with the most ball possession dictate the pace of the battle. So that was pretty much all the goals. Germany scored 4 goals against England's 1 goal, but really I think that should have been 2 goals for England. Alright, so that was pretty much it for my recap of the game. Now I want to give my thoughts on the game. I want to say overall, I think both Germany and England have very bad defensive back lines, and England went home because of that. And I hope this game gives the Germans even more time to prepare their defensive back line against the winner of Argentina and Mexico, because we cannot let that kind of sloppy defending go on anymore, because I really want Germany to win, and I don't want them making those defensive mistakes again. I do want to say that the German midfield and the German attack, it's beautiful. That's why they're able to, hide the fact that their defensive backline is really bad, is because their midfield was able to keep attacking, and that let Germany, disguise the fact that their defense is really bad. As far as ball possession goes, England definitely had more possession of the ball than the Germans, but I think the Germans, they always looked more threatening whenever they controlled the ball. So I do want to see Germany, do better next time with ball possession, because with more ball possession, it gives you more power to dictate the pace of the game, and that will only add to Germany's dominance in the midfield. And that's pretty much all I want to talk about for now. I was very happy with the results of the game. I was very unhappy that the English goal was disallowed, because I think that might ruin the memory of this great game between two great football countries. Alright, so it looks like Argentina is going to beat Mexico. Right now, Argentina is beating the Mexicans 3-0, and there's only like 25 minutes left, so I'm pretty sure Argentina is going to knock Mexico out of the World Cup. So that means if Argentina wins, that means Germany is going to play against Argentina in the next round. So my question is, who do you think is going to win between Argentina and Germany? And I'm going to ask a second question since I already asked this question earlier. This deals with FIFA. Right now, FIFA, they rely 100% on the referees and the officials to see everything on the pitch. But I think a game like today between Germany and England, it just proves that the referees and officials, they cannot see everything on the pitch, even when they're positioned where they're supposed to be. Sepp Blatter, he went on record as saying that he knows that the referees, they cannot be everywhere, and the officials, they can't see everything. But his argument for using video technology is that it would break the pace of the game if the referee has to stop to review game footage. So the question here is, would you rather see a game stop to review a play and allow for an honest goal like today when England should have scored a second goal? Or would you rather have the game play on and disallow a completely legitimate goal? Alright, so let me end this video blog with my prediction of who's going to win between Germany and Argentina. I personally think this is going to be a very low-scoring affair. Argentina looks really fantastic, but Germany, of course, is also fantastic. But I predict that Germany is going to win this game 1-0.